Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Draymond takes full responsibility for Warriors' loss to Nuggets. Draymond Green was a team worst -23 during the Warriors' 119-103 loss to the Denver Nuggets on Sunday night at Chase Center, and he took responsibility for his rough performance a few hours later. On the latest Draymond Green Show podcast, which was recorded after Sunday's game and released Monday, the Warriors forward took ownership of his impact on teammate Klay Thompson and Nuggets center Nikola Jokic. Klay came off the bench firing in the first half, Green said. And I think it's on me, I got to do a better job of making sure he gets more touches in the second half. Although our minutes don't match up as much as they did before, I think it's still my role on this team to make sure that he's getting more shots in the second half. Thompson scored 23 points in the first half, as the Warriors and Nuggets went into the halftime break tied 61-61. He wouldn't score again, and Golden State struggled to find consistent offense even after Steph Curry heated up in the third quarter. Green believes he has to dedicate more touches to Thompson, especially when he has the hot hand. However, he admitted Thompson's move to the bench is a situation he's getting used to since they're not on the court as much as they would be if they were starting together. Thompson's scoring would have boosted Golden State's stagnant second-half offense, but Jokic's domination supersedes all outcomes and what-ifs. Jokic's 32 points, 16 assists, and 16 rebounds gave me complete hell tonight, Green said. I've had my fair share of good matchups against Joker. He gave me total and complete hell tonight. I had absolutely no answers. And I'm just going to laugh about it because either you laugh or you cry. And so I'm going to laugh about it. I had absolutely no answers tonight. As Green explained, Jokic was unstoppable. The two-time NBA MVP winner shot 52.2% from the floor and seemingly could do no wrong for Denver. The Warriors' loss dropped them to 0-4 against the Nuggets in the 2023-24 NBA season. And while choosing to laugh about the poor outing, Green emphasized Golden State's desire to get back on track. It was one of those games that you kind of just got to flush, Green declared. That's a very good team, that's why they are defending champions. I'm going to take this loss and flush it down the toilet, and we're going to move on to Washington. Then we're going to get back on the winning track and we're going to have a great road trip. That is what I am switching my focus to. The Warriors are 29-27 and 16-15 at home. They trail the 31-28 Los Angeles Lakers by half a game for the West's number 9 seed and the 34-24 Phoenix Suns by 4 games for the highly coveted number 6 seed. Green will have a chance to atone for his poor performance when the Warriors travel to take on Jordan Poole and Wizards on Tuesday night. Chris Paul to return Tuesday versus Wizards. The Golden State Warriors are embarking on a vital closing stretch of the season, and they're going to have a full squad just in time. After a lengthy absence, the team's prize acquisition last offseason, 12-time All-Star point guard Chris Paul, will return from injury on Tuesday when the Dubs visit the Washington Wizards. Paul has missed 21 consecutive games after fracturing his left hand in a January 5 game against the Detroit Pistons. The injury required surgery, but thankfully it was minor enough that CP3 is able to not just return this year, but for a large portion of the season. He joins the Warriors right as they're beginning to put the pieces together. Despite blowing another double-digit lead, hey, it wasn't the fourth quarter this time. In a loss to the Denver Nuggets on Sunday, the Warriors have won 10 of their last 13 games, and in that time span have a garbage time adjusted net rating of plus 7.4, which is 8th best in the league during that time, and would be 4th best in the league over the course of the season. More importantly, the Warriors' starting lineup, which looks completely different than at the start of the season, Steph Curry, Brandon Podziemski, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and Draymond Green, has started to click. When Paul was healthy, the team's starting lineup, with Klay Thompson and Kevin Looney in place of Podziemski and Kuminga, was one of the worst in the NBA, and the team was kept afloat by a great bench, led by Paul. Now the script has flipped. The starters have excelled, but the bench, missing the steady hand of CP3, has wavered. Hopefully no more. Paul will stabilize the unit, which will now have two future Hall of Famers with Thompson moving, and thriving, in his new role. Steve Kerr has already asserted that Paul will play every meaningful minute that Curry is on the bench for, and presumably a good number of shared minutes, too, and you can't overstate just how important that will be for the team. Plus, Paul gets a mini revenge game. CP3 spent all of 4 days this offseason as a member of the Wizards, after they traded Bradley Beal to the Phoenix Suns for Paul, only to then flip Paul to the Warriors for Jordan Poole. Watch out, NBA. The Warriors are clicking, they're healthy, and their schedule is pretty darn easy going forward, starting with Tuesday's game against a 9-win Wizards squad. Jordan Poole, Wizards aim to take down Chris Paul, Warriors. Jordan Poole gets a rematch with his former team, this one at his new home, when the Washington Wizards host the Golden State Warriors on Tuesday night. The Wizards have lost 11 in a row, but they were 9 minutes from surprising the Cleveland Cavaliers on Sunday before seeing a 6-point lead turn into a 114-105 defeat. Poole's three-pointer, his sixth of the game, gave Washington its 94-88 advantage before the Wizards missed 11 of their final 15 shots. Poole took just one of those attempts, a three-pointer he missed with the score tied at 94 in his 31-point performance. The effort came as a reserve, a role Poole has held in Washington's past 3 games. He's averaged 23.3 points in those outings. The first-year Wizards guard came off the bench 39 times for the Warriors last season, a role he failed to embrace. He was far more productive in 43 starts, 24.6 points per game, than as a reserve, 15.9. Poole vented his frustration over his new role after shooting just 4 for 17 in a loss at Denver in the Wizards' first game out of the All-Star break last Thursday. "If there's any common sense with the situation, you should know how I feel," Poole said. "But I'm just going to come out, do what I can do to help the team, keep it moving." Poole has shot better in his 2 subsequent reserve efforts, going 7-for-19 at Oklahoma City last Friday before Sunday's 11-for-21 effort against the Cavaliers. The 24-year-old, the Warriors' first-round pick in 2019, shot just 7-for-21 while scoring a team-high 25 points in his return to San Francisco in December. The Wizards lost the game 129-118. The Warriors opted in the offseason to send Poole to the Wizards as part of a package for Chris Paul, a veteran who has accepted coming off the bench. Before he broke his left hand in a game January 5 against the Detroit Pistons, Paul served as a reserve in 21 of his 32 contests, yet he still managed to lead Golden State in assists per game at 7.2. Paul is scheduled to return from a 21-game absence Tuesday as Golden State opens a 4-game trip. In announcing the good news, Warriors coach Steve Kerr said that while he's determined a game-opening role for Paul on the bench before leading the second team with Klay Thompson, the Golden State finishing group remains undecided. Stephen Curry cautioned observers not to overthink Kerr's lineup dilemma. "You'd be an idiot to not think CP can help us," he said. "We've built some momentum since he's been out. But he's such a connector and a floor general, a guy that gets everyone in the right spots. So whether it's when I'm on the bench or we're on the court at the same time, it'll hopefully elevate us to another level." When the Warriors and Wizards first met, Paul had just 4 points off the bench but made time for 10 assists and 7 rebounds. The score differential was plus 27 for the Warriors in his 25 minutes on the court, whereas Washington went backward by 9 points in Poole's 27 minutes. As they embark on a trip that also will take them to New York, Toronto, and Boston, the Warriors have won 8 of 10, although they are coming off a 119-103 home loss to Denver on Sunday. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation about Jordan Poole? Leave your opinion in the comments.